What's going on, guys? I am Simple Simon and welcome to Simple MMA Talk. I know it's been a while since my last video. I've just been full blown into the comic book stuff, but there's a huge fight card next weekend. UFC 251 Fight Island is finally here, and there's 4 fights that really interest me on that card, so I'm going to give you my 2 cents on those 4 fights. Let's just smash through it. Let's do this. So, first fight we're going to talk about is Jessica Andrade versus Rose Namajunas, the rematch. Now, the first time these two ladies fought, it was a championship match. Rose Namajunas was the champion. As you may remember, Andrade took the belt from her in a fight that she was clearly losing, but was able to just grab Rose and just dump her on her head like an animal and knock Rose out with a slam. This rematch, I feel like lightning's not going to strike twice. I'm not going to say she got lucky. She obviously clearly went for that slam, but those slam KOs in MMA are very, very rare. So Rose was clearly controlling her on her feet. She was too lengthy. Andrade, as strong as she is, she's just very small. She doesn't have a great reach. So against lengthy fighters and good strikers like Rose or Joanna and stuff, I feel like she runs into problems. I'm definitely picking Rose for the rematch. I think she's going to win by decision. I don't know if she's going to be able to finish Andrade, because Andrade is one tough customer. So yeah, I'm going with Rose. I love Rose, and I'm hoping that she will become champ again. Alright, the next one is the vacant Bantamweight Championship title fight between Peter Yan, or is it Petr Yan? I'm just going to call him Peter, it's much easier, versus Jose Aldo, one of my favorites. Aldo is coming off a loss to Marlon Moraes, a loss where many people felt like he won, which is why he's getting the title shot. Henry Cejudo wanted the shot before he retired, and Dana White also believed that Jose won that fight. I also believe Jose won that fight. It's a bit weird to give him the fight still, but whatever, I'm cool with it. Aldo is a legend. He's one of the all-time greats, without a doubt. Peter Yan, or Petr Yan, I'm going with Peter. Very good. He's gonna, I believe, come into this as the favorite. Yan is just an absolute animal. But here's the thing. I think this is closer than everyone thinks it's gonna be. If you actually remember, Aldo looked pretty good against Moraes. Was it Jeremy Stevens, the fight before that, I think, where he finished him with body shot? And even against his losses against Holloway, there was definitely moments where Aldo, you know, reminded Holloway who he was. So Aldo is still very good. And you got to remember, with one thing with Yan, he's obviously looked like an absolute beast. But if you think back, I don't know how many fights ago it was, maybe only a couple of fights ago when he fought Jimmy Rivera. That was a sick fight. And Yan won, but he was losing, I believe, the first 2 rounds. However, he took, I think, both rounds the same thing. He was losing, and in the last second, he happened to drop Rivera and sort of steal the round back. If you actually remember, Rivera is a very high-level striker. I believe Rivera was pretty much winning a lot of the rounds, and then until he wasn't, pretty much. So Yan is a tough customer. He just comes forward. He has trained with Aldo apparently as well, but Aldo, you got to remember, is still Jose Aldo. He's still a very good striker. He doesn't pull the trigger on his leg kick so much, but technically he's still there, and I think he showed that in the Moraes fight. I think this is going to be a lot closer. I think Aldo absolutely has a chance, and I would like to see Aldo win and become a champion in another weight class, but I just have to go with Yan. Aldo, he's just getting on in age and in his career. He's had a lot of miles. I mean, that guy from WEC to UFC, he had a lot of fights, and he started very young. So yeah, I definitely think he's got a chance, and I'm going to be rooting for him, but my pick would have to be with Yan. Okay, the co-main event is a rematch, featherweight championship fight, a rematch between the Aussie Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. I did not expect Volkanovski to look as good as he did in their first fight. He didn't just beat Holloway, it's like he had his puzzle solved. It was really interesting. Pretty sure I did a fight prediction for that card as well, and I was just like, Holloway's gonna embarrass him pretty much. And it's not uncommon. I got embarrassed, didn't I? It's hard when you see 2 fighters fight once and then they have a rematch instantly. It's hard to see it going the other way, especially when the first fight was fairly clear. Like, Holloway had his moments, but I just felt like throughout the whole fight, Volkanovski was comfortable. He never looked like he was in danger. he was in control. So yeah, it's a tough one because Holloway is so damn good. Look, I don't do research for this stuff, so I just kind of go off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure he lost to Poirier in a mad fight, and then I think he came back to defend once against Edgar before he lost to Volkanovski. I think that's what happened. Holloway is still so good. The reason I just thought that Volkanovski had no chance is because Holloway is a tall, lengthy dude for that division. Like, he is tall, skinny, lanky. He's got such a big reach advantage, it seems, over Volkanovski. I just found it so hard to, especially the way he dealt with Edgar. I just felt like it was going to be the same thing because Volkanovski, you know, he's pretty similar to Edgar in a sense. He's just maybe a little bit more powerful. This is a tough one. Like I said, it's hard to pick against Volkanovski considering the way the first one went, and we haven't seen Max since then. So I really I didn't think this through. I guess I'll go with Volkanovski. Again, not saying that Holloway can't win. I think he can absolutely win, and he can absolutely do it the way I envisioned him doing it the first time. I'll go with Volkanovski. Again, it's just hard to see where Max is going to adjust, especially because we haven't seen him since this fight, that fight. So I'll go with Volkanovski. Alright, so the main event, Kamaru Usman is defending his belt against one of his teammates, Gilbert Burns. Burns has obviously looked amazing recently. Took out Woodley in his last match, and his striking is just really up there now, and obviously he's known to be a top level jiu-jitsu guy. Usman I don't think is the best fighter, however his skill set, it's hard to beat no matter who you are. Like if your takedown defense is not on, I mean, you're probably going to lose if you don't knock him out quick, right? I think Burns has got a massive chance in this. If anything, I think Burns is a better striker, and Usman's only chance to win this, I think, is going to be to lay and pray on top of him, to be honest. And I don't think Burns is going to let him do that. I think Burns' jiu-jitsu gives him really good chance on the ground and on the feet. I think he's a much better striker than Usman. You got to remember, Usman's last fight against Colby was fantastic. It was an amazing fight. It was against two wrestlers who basically slugged it out for the 5 rounds, and Usman's striking is not there. As good as it looked against Colby, he got hit a lot by Colby. Colby doesn't hit hard, so it was pretty much a slugfest between two guys who I don't think are strikers. They've definitely improved in that area. Gilbert Burns' striking has improved in a different way, I think. I think he does have knockout power. He's got much better technique. Two ways. He's either going to rock Usman and finish him, or he's going to rock Usman and Usman's going to go for a panic takedown and get caught in a guillotine or some kind of submission. So that's my prediction for that one. Or it could be a very boring fight of Kamaru Usman lying on top of Gilbert Burns for 5 rounds. Look, all respect to Usman, he impressed me against Woodley. Definitely did. That was definitely his shining moment to make me go, okay, you're pretty good. Against Colby, I think Colby's obviously a lot better than I give him credit for too, and I think I said that in another video about Colby. Colby is good. What he did to Robbie Lawler was nothing short of amazing. Anyway, I'm rambling on about other stuff. My pick is Gilbert Burns to become the new welterweight champion. And that is my picks for UFC Fight Island. If you are new to the channel, you probably won't like it. I make content about comic books and collectibles and nerd stuff, but I've been a long time MMA fan. I don't know anything about comic books. I'm like new to that stuff. I've been a fan of MMA for a long time, so I do enjoy talking about it. So for those of you who do watch my MMA content as well as my other stuff, I know you're out there. Thank you guys so much, and to anyone else who watches this, who has seen it before and enjoys it, thank you so much. Until next time, keep it simple.